Hello YouTube, George from Medusa Herbs here, back with another video. In this video we're going to be talking about every reptile keeper's least favorite subject, Cryptosporidium. Got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right in. Back on January 18th, today is February 4th, back on January 18th I posted this picture. To Facebook and Instagram. I was trying to show the size difference between a couple of my females, Hathor on the left, Isis in the middle, and a male, Satesh, on the right. I immediately received messages and feedback replies stating that Isis, the snake in the middle, probably had crypto, and that I'd probably exposed all of my entire collection to crypto. Needless to say, I was devastated. I was aware of crypto before I started keeping reptiles, but after some messages back and forth with people on Instagram, some private messages with some people, and some additional research online, I finally learned one, how difficult it is to test for. I had tested Isis for crypto back in August or September when she started first losing weight. So I found out how difficult it is to test for that, and how difficult it is to get rid of crypto in your environment once it has been exposed there or brought into that environment. I'm not going to go into all the details on that, but needless to say, Avery from Ava of the Apes, Chris from Maiden of Slytherin were both very, very helpful in my conversations online. And then Teresa from Hip Hogs, her informational sheet on her website about crypto was shocking and eye-opening, to say the least. I will put links to the social medias and to Teresa's webpage, Hip Hogs, talking about crypto. So that was back on January 18th. Needless to say, when I went to sleep that night, I had great difficulty sleeping. All I could think about was what was going to happen to my animals, because as I said, based on my handling of my animals, the way I house my animals in the rack system, things like that, I felt like I had exposed them all to crypto. Even though, as I said, I tested Isis once before and that test came back negative, I didn't think I had anything to worry about until I did that additional research after posting the photo online. When I woke up the next day, the only thing I could think about was that I was going to have to euthanize my entire collection. I only have 6 animals, but I was devastated. I felt like an idiot. I felt like a failure. I felt horrible. I didn't keep snakes for 25 years because I didn't feel like I could provide for them in the necessary manner. Made the decision to get back into reptiles about a year ago, and here I was facing the possibility of having to have all my animals put down. So that was the day after. Taking a little bit more time to think about things, I came up with a plan, and so that's what I kind of want to talk about. Again, please go read the page on Hip Hogs talking about crypto, what you can do, how you should act, how you should handle things, quarantine, isolation. It's way more information than I can present in this short video, and you want to take the time to be able to read it, read back over it, just so you can educate yourself. If you keep lizards, snakes, any kind of reptile, I think it's a valuable piece of information. So I decided not to burn down the whole ship. I decided I was going to try to do the best I can to mitigate the circumstances. Maybe I could save a couple of the animals. So the first thing that I did was went out and bought gloves. I wasn't using gloves beforehand because I was under the impression, falsely, that just because my snakes weren't displaying symptoms of crypto, that didn't mean, they don't have crypto if they don't act like they're having crypto. And when I thought they might have crypto and I tested for it and the test came back negative, I thought I was in the clear. So the first thing I did was gloves. I was already not using or sharing any of the cage decor when I was doing my cleanings or feedings or anything like that, but just paying attention to cross-contamination a little bit better. Which leads me to a question that I do have. When I do my monthly deep cleanings, I can prepare my backup bin, wash all the decor out of the old bin, clean that up, put that in the new bin, and then transfer the animal directly into the new bin. But what do you do when you're doing your spot cleanings during the week? When I have to open up a bin to clean up some feces, freshen up a water bowl, and maybe I want to move some stuff around. I don't want the animal there if I have to spray chlorhexidine or wipe. I was using a transfer box. One box, put one snake in it, do his tub, take him out, put him back in his tub, get the next snake, put them in the transfer box. So that opens up for cross-contamination. So what do you do when you spot clean with your animals? If you're watching this video, please leave me a comment and let me know. I'd really like to know how you handle that. Because I don't know what to do about that, to be quite honest. So glove use, number 1. Number 2, I ordered online some 12% hydrogen peroxide and immediately cleaned. I do have a set of backup tubs. So I have 2 sets of tubs for every animal, or 2 tubs for every animal. I had my backup tubs downstairs. They had already been washed and cleaned with warm soapy water. I saturated those with the 12% hydrogen peroxide for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the tub. When I did my monthly cleaning most recently, I took everything out of their cages, water bowls, every piece of decor, also saturated those items for 5 to 10 minutes in that 12% hydrogen peroxide, hoping to neutralize, not kill, but neutralize any of the spores from Cryptosporidium that may be in the environment. I have also ordered testing supplies from, I believe it's called Research Associates Labs, RAL. Put a link in there in the description for them as well. And I have completed the first round of crypto testing on 4 of my animals. My female Hathor was shedding and had not eaten, so she did not pass any feces. Satesh, my male Tophiconda, hasn't eaten since Christmas, also hasn't passed any feces. So I was not able to collect a sample from them either through feces or through a cloacal swab. I did manage to get a cloacal swab from Isis because she's been hit or miss on her feeding as well. So I sent off samples for 4 of my animals, doing an RNA panel test, which tests for Cryptosporidium varanus and Cryptosporidium, I think it's serpenti, the one in lizards, the one in snakes. For those first 4 tests, they all came back negative. That doesn't mean that my animals are cleared. As I said, when you read the research, you're going to find out that it's going to be more involved. So my plan is, going forward, once a month, crypto testing for all of my animals. And I'm going to do that for 6 months. So February, March, April, May, June, July. Skip 3 months, test them in October before I put them in brumation. Test them in February of next year when they come out of brumation. And then test them again in May. So that will be 9 tests total, hopefully, for all the animals. As I said, I missed a couple on this first round, but hopefully 8 or 9 tests for each animal. Anytime an animal tests positive for crypto, that animal will be moved from here. Don't have a lot of room in my little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, but I do have space in my bedroom where I can take this rack and use some tubs and heating pads that I had from my DIY rack and put them into isolation or quarantine in another room away from this main system here. The second positive crypto test on an animal that's already in quarantine, that animal will be euthanized or put down. Once they test positive for crypto, once they have it, there is no cure. There is no getting rid of it. There's nothing that can be done. Eventually, when you take the time to look at the picture of Isis, and I've been worried about her for 6 months now, or more it seems like, but she is thin. She is dramatically losing weight. She'll eat about 50% of the time. She shows interest in food when other times she wants it. I mean, she'll come up and, hey, that's food, and go right after it. So she does have an appetite sometimes, but not all the time. And she has had some problems with regurgitation over the last couple months. So fingers crossed, but that's the plan going forward. So glove use, sterilization, deep cleaning, if you want to call it that, using the 12% hydrogen peroxide on all my tubs and decor. My backup tubs, which are downstairs now, they'll get saturated with the 12% hydrogen peroxide. And then anytime anybody tests positive, of course, anything in their enclosure, the tub itself, everything will be sterilized or sanitized again with that 12% hydrogen peroxide. Again, it's not going to kill the Cryptosporidium spores, but it will hopefully neutralize them based on the information that I found online. So, and then continued testing over the course of the next year to year and a half. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. As far as I know, no one has crypto, but I'm under the impression that someone has crypto. It just hasn't shown up in a test yet. I did find some information online about the accuracy or validity of Cryptosporidium testing. I found a couple different references. One was in animal populations, I believe it was in Thailand, versus like reptile farms compared to like pet stores over there. And then I found another one that was in reference to Cryptosporidium testing in humans, specifically looking at RNA testing versus DNA testing versus one other method of testing. If I can find that study again, or those two studies, I'll also put links in the description as well. The tests are fairly accurate, 99.6% I believe for RNA testing when the animal or the individual is positive. But to detect that, the animal or individual needs to be actively shedding Cryptosporidium spores or broken down DNA. So again, might not pick it up 100% of the time, which is why it's important to test over a series of 12 months, 18 months, whatever it may take. So again, for you out there, question number one, what do you do with your animals when you're doing spot cleaning and you need to relocate them temporarily to dig through bedding to look for feces or scrub something in the inside the tub? Where do you put your animals? How do you handle that so that you don't expose your other animals to cross-contamination? Use gloves. Use gloves. Use gloves for one animal, for one purpose. Change the gloves. Put on a new pair of gloves when you handle another animal. I have a video out, unfortunately, in my list where I talked about glove use. 180 on that. Complete 180 on that video. Again, it's really hard to get rid of crypto once you get it. The chemical itself, 12% hydrogen peroxide, super caustic. Got a little bit on my skin, burned, left a big mark there. Don't want to mess around with that stuff. Got to use proper PPE, glasses, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area, etc. So very difficult to work with that. Isolation protocols on the same level as like in a hospital when you're dealing with infectious or contagious diseases, if one of your animals does have crypto. Yeah, just a lot of stuff to take in. A very eye-opening experience. Again, hope that no other reptile keepers have to go through with it, but I know that some do. As I said, I was aware of it before I started keeping snakes because of a video that I saw online from Jermaine at Shovel Nose Hogs, where he talked about his experience with crypto. But again, I was not aware of how difficult it was to detect it and how to keep it out of your environment or isolate it once you do get it. So the whole reason I continue to make these videos is so that hopefully someone out there can learn from my mistakes. Lord knows I've made plenty of them so far. Thankfully, none of my animals have had to suffer too much. I hope that ISIS really, really pulls through. On that note, everybody else seems to be doing good. Hathor and Nephthys, which are my two largest females, both gained over 20 grams in the last month. They all ate. Well, Hathor shed out, so she missed 2 feedings because of that. But Nephthys and Hathor have been great eaters. Osiris, the male I was having difficulty with so long ago, getting him to be a regular feeder, he hasn't missed a feeding in like 2 months. All I had to do was get him started, and now I drop feed him, and he's 100%. He's putting on weight. He's up to 35 grams, where he was down to like 17 or 18, not even like 3 months ago. Kepra, my male Arctic, is doing pretty good. As I said, Satesh, the male Tophiconda, hasn't eaten since Christmas. I assume it's something to do with the cold spell that we've experienced, but definitely keeping an eye on him for the crypto possibility as well. Would love to get a fecal sample or cloacal swab in February to be able to send off to at least get one, positive, negative response from him and from Hathor. She should be easy because she eats like a champ. So other than Isis continuing to lose, up and down with the weight, she lost 3 or 4 grams last month, ate about 50% of the time, had 1 regurgitation. She's my most delicate snake right now. She's the one that you'll see in the picture that's super thin. She's the one I'm focused on the most right now as being the, I don't want to say the problem, but the one that needs the most attention. So that's it. If you have any questions, comments, additional information you'd like to pass on, please leave me information comment down in the comments below. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next month with another update. Take care.